America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Hey, welcome, America! That's right. We want to welcome all of you to the Invent America show right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. This is Invent America Radio, and we're talking to all of our radio affiliates all across this great country of ours. So we want to welcome all of you. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at hometalkusa.com. Check out our website at hometalkusa.com. You can check out the Invent America show. You can check out the Made in America show and also Home Talk USA. Because as our famous Inventor Lady says, America invents. Now I'd like to welcome to the show our co-host of the show, the Inventor Lady herself, the legend herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, how you doing?
Just fine. Out there working with inventors, trying to help them get into the marketplace and show off. Because you know what? No better place to talk about those cool new products than on the radio.
I'll tell you, Rita, every time we get off the every time we get off the air at the end of the show, I put my stopwatch on and we do an ETA time, and I sit down there for all week and can't wait till we do the show again. That's how excited I am to talk to all these brainchilds, all these inventors, all these very unique, I call them all extroverts. Now, some of them are introverts, but they're all extroverts. They're all creative people, and they just find solutions. They don't complain. They find solutions to everyday problems. And I know you want to talk about, we've did so many subjects. We have all our audience that tunes in every week. They know we pretty much covered a lot. And each week we come up with some different topics to discuss. But one topic we never discuss is, and I guess you can apply this to your whole life. Practice makes perfect. It's as simple as that. So what do you mean by that, Rita?
Well, we get it. Nobody, when they're in, second and third grade, says, I'm going to grow up and be an inventor. They're going to do construction. They're going to be an electrician. They start working on that stuff. But golly, then they get out into the workplace and they go, well, I can do better than this. So many of our really great inventors are in their own working environment when they come up with a better way to do it. A new tool, a new piece of construction work, a new kitchen gadget. And the first one out of the box, man, that's tough. They take a lot of bruises that first time out the door. But then they do another one. And okay, well, I know the steps. I know a good patent attorney I want to use, and I've already got marketing for one. Let's go ahead and do marketing for a second one. And then they do a third one. Now, as technology changes and stuff, sometimes it gets harder. Sometimes it gets easier. Our topic for our inventor roundtable meetings next month is scams, scoundrels, and saboteurs. How to avoid them and not get beat up. And do we have a glass ball that we can predict everything that's going to happen? No, we don't. Can we watch things so that we can say, all right, don't go this way? And so there's times when we certainly try to help inventors avoid. But the best information an inventor gets is from another inventor, because they've already taken the bruises,
Yep.
And so, the inventor that we've got on as a guest today, Mike Wood, he's got 3 products out there. They're all related to the job he does for everyday work. And so, one, we can learn about the products because they are really cool products. I've got one and my husband goes, holy cow, the rain's not dripping down on our heads anymore when we walk out the front door. And, when you get products that work, it's wonderful.
Well, Rita, I tell you, when we were brainstorming this show, this hour, I can remember our conversations that we were having to figure out, because you had your Inventor the Inventor Lady, and getting the first stages of people, hope to get them before they start making mistakes. But the point I'm trying to make is that we came up with this format to basically set that blueprint. Let's establish a blueprint, a simple blueprint. Because you got to remember, when I first started this and me doing this, we had no blueprint. You had an idea, you had all these inventors, and you had the copyright people, the website people, social media, you know what I'm saying? But they were all over. But now it kind of leads to what you're just saying, is that once you establish a simple blueprint, and then the success is just reproducing, over and over, the blueprint, which I call the road to manufacturing, the road to the sale, the road, how you want to call it. But set up that good blueprint. And I think that's what you've been doing, and we've been doing, and I hope we've been doing, because the comments I've been getting is that, ever since we listening to the Invent America show, you guys have really made it very easy. We're eliminating all the mistakes. And as you know, Inventor Lady, when you make mistakes, it costs you money, right?
Generally in the inventing arena, mistakes are money related. And, I'll get people that say, I'm looking for a new registered patent attorney. Okay. And we had a lady at the meeting and she goes, well, I need, this is what I need. And everybody is like, that's not what you need. And so it was really funny, because all of the other inventors was like, no, go this way. Yeah. And so then, she called me today and she was like, okay, explain to me kind of, that scenario that went on. And so we talked and she said, okay, that makes so much more sense. I get it. Yeah. So, a lot of times it's just, helping the inventors, take one path versus the other. And I said, you can't make all the decisions at one time. You make each business decision based on what you learned at the last step. Well, when you've got multiple products in there, like Mike does, he learned those steps, and they're all related to the work he does every day. And one of my questions for him is like, okay, are you still doing the day job, or are you just doing all inventing now and selling product? Because he learned how to make his industry better by creating these products. And that is what's so cool, because now contractors all over America can use his product and he makes them all look good.
Yeah. And that's the key right there. I could play devil's advocate both way, you're only going to get one shot at this, so make sure it's your best shot, or, put something out there, do a marketing search and get some feedback. And I think you have to separate it a little bit, because I think that's what the trade shows really do good for us, is getting the feedback exactly where you stand at the moment, because professionals are going to tell you, definitely the consumers are going to tell you, and maybe you just got to make some tweaks. So, I've been on both sides of the road, hey, look, get it out there. You're only going to have one shot to get it right. But sometimes, that's why sometimes inventors put products out there, and how many times that technology has changed in a couple of years, good, better, best, all purpose, improved, or whatever, or taking the thing and not resting on the laurel to keep making it better than the original design. So
the good inventors pay attention to technology and what's coming.
Yeah.
I've had inventors get patents on the machine that makes their product, because it's unique to make that product. Yeah. And it gives then life to the product, because if anybody else was trying to make their product, they'd have to use the same machine. And so different approaches to giving longevity to their intellectual property can be really valuable.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect, and keep doing the same thing. If it's working, as we said, you heard that saying, trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, you don't need different results if you're doing the same thing successful and you're just blueprinting. And that's why all these Fortune 500 companies that just continue just to reproduce the same format that they're doing, carbon copying, because they have a successful formula, over the period of years to know what exactly they need to do. But you're never going to guess, like you said, you're never going to guess or figure out the American consumer. Because if I did that, me and you would not be doing a show right now. We'd be sitting on an island, somewhere,
Yep, for sure.
You're never going to figuring them out. Because sometimes what's not successful succeeds, and sometimes when you think it's going to succeed, it fails because the timing was wrong.
Oh
Sometimes it has
yeah,
to do with the timing.
the
Well, Rita,
timing or
that,
one word on the packaging.
one word on the packaging. Yeah.
It can throw it, and
Well,
it's amazing.
Well, let's go ahead and take a short break. This is the Cajun Contractor Michael King. You're listening to Invent America Radio with the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. Y'all stay with us. We'll be back with our first guest, Mr. Mike Wood. They call him Woody. Will be our guest. Stay tuned. Y'all come back now. You hear?
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
Welcome back to the Invent America show here on Invent America Radio. I'm the Canadian contractor Michael King, along with the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. We want to welcome all of you. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. Don't forget the top of the next hour, Made in America show. So we sure hope you stay with us as we transition to the new hour, Made in America, right here on the King's Broadcasting Network.
And my guest for this hour is Mike Wood, and he does these roofing products, but they're very different than the seal it tight, seal it right. They're diverters, they're cleaners, they're holy cow, how fast can we get these out to the American public? Mike, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Rita, for having me. I appreciate it. So my name is Mike Wood. I live in central Connecticut. I've been doing gutters for over 30 years with our company name, Wood and Wood Seamless Gutters. Me and my father started this way back when I got out of college from doing a fine arts degree, BFA, in college in Hartford. And soon as I got out of college, I kind of fell into hey, well, we got to pay the bills, right? So we jumped on a truck and started installing gutters and downspouts and leak protection systems. And what took us 8 hours years ago takes us 45 minutes today. So in the midst of all that was figuring out processes and figuring out who needs to be where and do what. And we can literally walk around the house without talking and do a whole system now, again, within the hour. So
Wow.
It's just all about repetition and doing what you do best, right? So when you change gears, you start doing things differently or changing start changing your services, then that's where things kind of get a little loosey, a little goosey, right? And not so great. So we really focus on gutters, downspouts, leak protection systems. And then why I talked about my BFA is because, well, is why we're really here, is to talk about my inventions and how the creativity part of me always wanted to come out. I always wanted to do art for the last 30 years. And one winter, I just kind of picked up a project and I couldn't put it down because it was so interesting to do. So with that said, I've been working on that and many other projects ever since, because I kind of realized I could do the same in my business as and be creative as well. So.
Well, I love the fact that you presented that, because, there's things that you do and it's like, wow, how did he come up with that? Well, there's more to it than just you're out doing construction work and saving gutters. There's some creativity in that as well.
Yeah, sure. I bring that to the job site all the time, right? So there's aesthetics, there's function, there's just the bottom line is protecting people's homes from water and destruction. So why you have some puddle in the cellar and it gets wet continuously is because probably the downspouts aren't in the proper space, or the water is overwhelming the gutter, or many problems, right? Drainage issues. So it's all about detective work and figuring it out and giving people the right solution to the problem.
Do you make house calls?
All the time. In fact, I was on 4 of them today. Yeah, I was on 4 of them today.
I am sure that they're not all the way to Tennessee.
No, not all the way to Tennessee. No, I'm just kind of staying in my circle. We stay in the central Connecticut as much as possible. And but we've done some outreach. We've done some work on a local island called Block Island. We've been out to the Cape in Massachusetts. We've been as far as Albany in New York, and so Long Island. So we stretch out pretty far for some people. So yeah.
All right, so tell everybody, what is the gutter diverter?
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the gutter diverter. So the gutter diverter has been a long process. For many, many years, we would put on a gutter system, what's called a splash guard, and that would go on the gutter where two roofs would meet, and it's called the valley of the roof. And when those two valleys meet, the water kind of, and during a rain event, will overwhelm the valley and become a high volume of water. And when that gets to the gutter line, it has a tendency to overflow the gutter, to overwhelm it, to put water where it shouldn't be, where it should be. So we would put things on the roof. We use rubber bicycle tubes, that you blow the bicycle tires up with. We would use metal. We would do all sorts of things, trying to figure out the best way to get the water to go where it's supposed to go into the gutter. And it was not.
I thought that was called the Valley of Despair, Mike, and it was right over my front door.
we would get that a lot, and that's a premise of why I invented what I did, because people were complaining about it over and over and over and over again. And our solution was just to slap a Band-Aid on it and kind of walk away. And it really wasn't a solution to the problem. So this splash guard would actually cause debris to get caught up in the gutter, moisture, fascia problems, overwhelm the roof line. Again, the water would go in the wrong direction, or it would overwhelm the gutter, especially during a rain or in winter when we get the slip and fall issues up here in the north. In the Northeast, we would get snow and ice build up on these patios, and the concrete would get pitted from all the water dripping on it. So it needed to be addressed, right? And I kind of took it upon myself to do that. And one day in my office, I was bending up some paper, and I just kind of had this little idea in my head, and suddenly I kind of figured out from a piece of paper how I wanted to build it. Building it was another problem, but with creativity comes trying to figure things out, right? Comes to trying to get to a process where it makes most sense, designing the product, and how do I manufacture it, right? How do I get that piece to a retail ready thing? So that being said, I worked really hard. I found some tools that I was able to manipulate. We were talking about that a moment ago, about how patenting the tool to make the product to keep going, right, and protect it. So I did. I had to build some benders to make it work. So
yeah, we need to be able to go ahead and take a break here, and we're gonna be back and talk more about this and how you managed to get it through those steps. So stick with us, everybody. We're going to talk more about Mike Wood and his process of getting this gutter diverter, which is really awesome, to the marketplace where you can actually go and buy it. Right now, we're going to go and pay some bills. So stick with us. We will be right back.
If you're an inventor, or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org.
And thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. This segment is brought to you by TrueView, the only accurate 3D real-time imaging blind spot mirror available. And you can get yours at cargocatch.com. No kidding. If you ever have had a semi pull up next to you and scare the daylights out of you, TrueView solves the problem. You can see what it is, where it is, and what size it is before it hits your peripheral vision. It saves lives. So my guest for this segment is Mike Wood, and Mike is talking about his first invention. Mike, how long did you work on gutter diverter before you actually got it into the marketplace?
Yeah, so it sat around for a little while. So I did have the product available since 2018. It was kind of already in place at that point. I did put it down for a little bit. I was humming and hawing whether I wanted to kind of really go out and do it or not. There's an expense to it, and I didn't want to I didn't want to jeopardize where I was at the moment. It's not always perfect time to release or do something. So I was hemming and hawing whether I really wanted to do it. And then my lovely wife said, "Well, you stop it already and get out the door and go do it." So she kicked me out the door and said, "Go," and I did, and I started taking off. And so it's really been a really positive experience, talking about my products and talking to people with the problem. Even today, I met with a customer and she's like, "I saw that thing on your internet on your website." I was like, "What thing?" And she goes, "The corner thing." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my corner thing. I did that." And she was like so excited that someone had a solution for her, because it's always been a problem. So whenever she came in the front door, she'd always get wet. So this diverter diverts the water off that valley and gets it back in the gutter, and then we can divert it to the left or to the right. So it just
Where
protects the
where can
gutter of
people
the
go
house.
and buy
Yeah.
it? Tell everybody
Yes.
where they can go get
So
it.
we have a couple of different places. Yeah. Amazon.com, put in no overflow gutter diverter. That's all one word, no overflow gutter diverter. You can also go onto our Shopify, which is nooverflow.ai. And there you'll find our diverter and a couple other products that we have as well. Yeah.
Okay, you walked right into that one. I know you've got other products. What are some of your other products, and which ones are on the market, and which ones should we be watching for?
Sure. So our newest product, I've been really busy lately. Why not just do a couple launches at the same time? Because that's what you should do. I invented a gutter wipe. So this wipe is used to clean the face of the gutter. It's a gutter brightening product. It takes the tiger striping, those streaks you see on the front of the gutter that happen pretty much instantaneously when a new gutter is installed. You'll see those pretty quickly, and that's from the dyes in the roof, the pollution in the air. It gets on the very face of the gutter, and it's not electrically, it's I, oh, ionically kind of it grabs the finish of the gutter and hangs onto there. And you really can't get it off without scrubbing or using a really toxic solution. So this product is used as a wipe form. You would wipe it on, and then the chemical will take those stripes right off, and you would wipe it off with a little damp cloth behind it, and it'll sparkle new again. So, like I just mentioned, there's no chemicals to mix. There's no jugs of chemicals laying around. There's no power washing. There's no scrubbing. There's no brushes. There's no PPE. There's no protection of the plants below. There's no pre-wash or ex-wash. You're saving 40 to 60 gallons of water per hour or per job. So if you had someone come in and soft wash your home, they're using 40 to 60 gallons of water. So if
Wow.
you have just a dirty gutter, we can actually just do that with a wipe. You can actually purchase the product and then just wipe them off and be done. So you're saving water. There's all sorts of great things about this. If the product stays on the gutter, that's fine. It will not damage the finish. That's the best part about it. I use gloves, but you don't need to, but it's a good idea to wear gloves when you're cleaning things anyways. But it's super safe product. Like I said, it'll take the finish right off. It'll leave the finish on, but it'll take the stripes right off. Excuse me.
There you go. There you go. And
You
is
know
this
what I mean.
product available on your website or anywhere
It's on our
else?
website. I'll say it again. This one actually, you can go directly to that one. It's the same website, but it's a slightly different. It's Tiger Strike, STRIKE, Tiger Strike, one word, .ai. So that'll bring you right to that product, or the no overflow.ai. Either one of those will work. It'll bring you to the product page. And like I said, you can purchase there. Right now, it shows pre-order. It is actually coming in today, Rita. We're getting a shipment directly from our warehouse today. So I'm actually fulfilling orders this tonight, and it'll be shipping out tomorrow. So if anyone's interested, please get on those website and check it out.
Well, congratulations on that one. So what's the other one? What's your
Thank
third
you.
product?
Yep. So we have this one's kind of fallen off the wayside a little bit just because of all the timing and I really had to pay attention to this wipe because we're trying to get it into a couple stores as we speak in some larger retail, larger contractor spaces. So the other one's called Guard Sweep. It's a sweep motion. I mean, it's a manual sweep, so it's got a round head and it's got bristles all the way around it. It can be adjusted to fit a 5-inch gutter or up to a 7-inch gutter. So it actually cleans the top of the gutter. So when we put a gutter guard on a gutter and we protect the inside of the gutter, we can get a lot of debris that sits on top of the gutter guard, right? It's not always maintenance free. And no matter what they say, a gutter guard, again, is going to keep the debris from getting in the gutter, but it will hold some stuff on top. So our brush is made to manually get it off. You can whisk it off quite easily with a little turn of the wrist from the ground with a pole. Or at some point, not just yet, but we're going to have an automatic version, motorized version where we just click it on and off from the bottom of the pole, and it'll spin up atop, and we'll actually be able to clear that guard off pretty quickly and easily from the ground, keeping everybody on the ground and so it's safe off the ladder.
No kidding. I mean, I think that's just awesome, because then you don't have these older gentlemen climbing up a ladder and trying to, and then get down and move the ladder, 2 feet so that they can reach another 2 feet. And it takes all darn day. Here they just use your sweep and they walk along the ground and sweep the gutters out. And an hour later, they get to go in and have lunch.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, the whole point of this is obviously to keep everyone safe on the ground and then do it efficiently and as quickly as possible. And then you also be the envy of the town of your neighborhood, because they're going to be watching you do this. And they'll still have the ladder out, and you'll be all done and having tea on the patio, right?
Or a cold beer.
Or a cold beer.
There you go.
There
absolutely.
You go.
Yeah. So how have you dealt with the marketing challenge then? Because that's not easy. I get inventors. It's like, all right, well, I've got this thing I invented, and they're really good at the engineering part of it and coming up with a solution to a problem, but marketing is a whole different animal.
Yeah, that's not really in my blood. I don't really have that down yet. I'm working on it. This is actually pushing me to really learn about it. I have a couple people now that are in my corner, if you will, that are helping me with that. Some marketing people and some other people. Yeah, you need to hire these people to get this product out there and get it in front of people. There's no doubt about it. I talked about this already earlier. There was being a gutter guy and just doing what I do is really important because it kind of just focus on one thing and we do it really, really well, right? If I started doing roofing or windows or siding, we wouldn't be doing very well in all these aspects of the job. So that being said, you need to hire somebody that does marketing. You need to hire someone that does the patenting, right? I had to hire a patent attorney to do what I needed to do correctly, so I'm protected. So
yeah,
it's just really about getting the right people in front of you. It's been hard. One person says they have a great product. It's very challenging. You're listening to people say, I have the best solution. I have the best solution. I have the best solution. And you're like, how can everyone have the best solution? It really doesn't make sense.
That's true.
So you really have to pick it apart.
That's true. So hang on just a second, Mike. We're going to go take a break. We've got to go pay a couple of bills. We'll be right back and wrap up this episode with gutter guards so you can go and fix your roof. Come back, everybody. We'll be here waiting for you.
TrueUp, easiest way to hang your pictures. We all know how stressful picture hanging can get. TrueUp comes with everything you need to level and hang pictures with no damage and no mess. Just peel, apply the adhesive to the back of the TrueUp mount and press firmly. Remove the remaining adhesive. Use the level and press and hold for 3 to 5 seconds to attach the TrueUp mount to your wall with a strong hold. The TrueUp frame adapter is compatible with most frames on the market. Apply the adhesive strip to the adapter, stick, and your frame hangs easily on the wall mount. This lets you adjust your picture side to side for perfect placement every time. The possibilities are limitless, and it's easy on your walls. Picture hanging can be truly a one-person job. TrueUp, the future of hanging is here.
Everyone, and thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America loves to invent. We are really good at finding solutions to everyday problems and making them available to everyone. This segment is brought to you by RPB Law Offices. RPB Law Offices has been bringing corporate level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. So for all of your inventing legal needs, you can trust rpblawoffices.com. And this segment, my guest is Mike Wood. He's now gone from being an inventor to being my industry expert because he's got 3 products out there. been through the ups and the downs and the mistakes and said, okay, won't do that one again, and getting the products out there. So, when we're looking at, advice for the beginning inventor, Mike, what kind of words do you have and what kind of wisdom can you share?
Well, because I've been doing this in the same field, if I was doing this in electronics for a computer, I think it would be way different because I don't have passion in computing or coding or all those things, right? Because I've been doing this for so long, I think it's important to really A, believe in your product, B, have it be a part of you, right? So I think that because I live it, I kind of portray it, right? And I have a lot of passion for what I do and how I portray it and the people I want to take care of. And I really it's really bottom line is taking care of my customers the best I can. So I think I try to portray that the best and try to bring that out the most to everybody. So I think if you're inventing and you aren't inventing in your space, I think it's hard to have that. So just really kind of know who you're inventing for and to, and really kind of figure out how that plays in you, inside of you, right?
Yeah,
We all have great ideas.
you're right. I mean,
Go ahead, please.
I see so often, somebody will come to me and say, well, I've got this idea. All right. So, the one lady, it was like, I've invented a new house to be off the grid. Oh, so you're an engineer. Well, no. Well, you've taken some college courses. No, I haven't. It's like, well, what do you do? And she says, well, this is, not even related to what she does. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to sound like, I'm making fun of some group of people, but it was like, you really need to, go out. And I sent her a link then to, the USPTO office where I had gone in and Googled this. And I said, you need to read through these and then give me a call back. And she goes, okay, I'm going to keep my day job because there's no way I can do this. It's like, there's hundreds of them out there already. And she hadn't even gone and looked at one. So, when you're talking about when you're working the job and you see something that needs to be done and you say, all right, there's nothing out there that does this thing, I can make one. You're the expert because you do it every day.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would have solutions if I'm in my own field, so I would see the solutions come across and come and go, but there had been no solutions to my issues or to what I thought were issues, right? And what my customers thought were issues, there was none of that. So every time I bring this along, it's always looking at that end of it, right? So especially with the wipes, there's nothing out there like that at all. Right.
No, and every time I sit on my deck and look up and see the black streaks on the white awning, I think, where's Mike? I need Mike.
Yeah. The same customer. Yeah, this same customer today was, hey, the contractor in front of you wanted to replace the fascia, aluminum fascia because it was all dirty. I go, you don't need to do that. We're going to wipe these clean. Yeah. So, it's just about having passion in your product, and when you do that, everything should go pretty smoothly, right?
When you've got the passion in the product and your industry, because now, I mean, not only do you have customers, but people in the industry who can be sellers of your product.
That's right. Yeah. So I find that a lot, right? So I'm using all the people that I know, all the contacts I have to help me get my products out, to say the word, right? And so in particular, the diverter's going a little slower than normal, but that's a niche thing. The Tiger Strike gutter wipes are actually not out yet, but they're already getting traction and people are talking about it. And when I see someone mention it on like a Facebook post, someone else is saying, "Hey, Michael Wood." So it's really, really cool. It's satisfying, and it makes my day better and brighter, right? So and that just reciprocates back to everybody else. So we just say like full circle,
All right. So what's next? What's next, Mike?
Oh, I'm going to build a car, Rita.
Oh, there you go.
An an EV car that runs on something. No.
Let me ask you this question: next? Have you had any experience
I have
in
an
building
applicator.
Okay.
No. I'm building an applicator pad for the wipes right now. So right now I have a prototype. So this pad will be able to form to the front face of the gutter, and for a 5-inch size gutter, and then we'll be able to flip that foam piece around and do a larger 6-inch gutter as well. So we'll be able to use that product much more easier, especially on the ladder. It's gonna be really important to have safety in mind. So instead of funneling with a wipe, we're gonna have an applicator pad that will hold the wipe for you, and you can just run it across the face of the gutter. So I'm working on different things like that. And then I have one more down. I can't talk about this one yet, but we have one more coming down the pipeline that's gonna it's going to light everybody up. It's going to be fantastic. I love it. Yeah.
Well, you can find Mike Wood on weneedgutters.com, correct, is your basic website. And the different products are listed there. You can find out where they're for sale. And everyone, believe me, there is nothing better than walking out of my front door when it's raining and not have the water running down on my head. And that is all because Mike Wood and Gutter Diverter, that's what you need wherever there's water running in the wrong spot. So Mike, thanks so much for being with us today. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.